Well, first, you're right. We have gone through a lot over the course of the last couple of years. And I think what we learned is that schools need to be open and masks need to be off for those kids that feel safe doing that. And I do not believe in mask mandates. And I think that parents have the opportunity to keep their children safe. But also with the educational system, you know, Maryland is one of the highest academically achieving states in the nation. We have more PhDs in the state than any other state. We want to be able to make sure that every child, regardless of the zip code that they live in, has the opportunity to excel. And that's why we introduced our Parental Bill of Rights a couple of months ago. And what that does is it provides empowerment to parents over their children's education to be able to make sure that the children learn things, the real things that children are supposed to learn in school, like how to read, write, do arithmetic, learn science. And, hey, I always like to say as a workforce development professional, learn a skill so that they have something to do after graduation. And I feel very, very strongly about that. And if those schools are failing, we feel it's very important for parents to know that they should have a choice in where their children go to school and to be able to increase public charter schools and P-TECH schools and those types of opportunities so that kids do not have to be in a failing school. But in addition to that, Kate also wanted to be able to make sure that there's an accountability within the school system. Yes, more competition is going to help with that, but we want to make sure that those school systems are accountable to the taxpayers that are providing, record amounts of funding to every school system in the state every single year. Well, I think that number one, it starts with, we've heard some reports recently about some schools not reporting the correct number of students. We need to have a better reporting mechanism for the schools to be able to report the number of students that are enrolled in their classrooms every day. We need to be able to make sure that what's being taught in the classroom is what's being taught as far as the metrics that's important for our students and for the parents that are putting their children into these public schools. And I think that we can do that, and I think we can do it well. Our children deserve it. Over the course of the last couple of years, the people that have dedicated their lives to serving and protecting each and every Marylander every single day have been a part of a conversation to defund their organizations, which means it's been a part of devaluing their service to the community. And what we have to do is we have to start continuing to not only refund those systems within the state, but we also have to be able to continue to revalue, really look at what their positions are and thank them for their service. And I like to say, quite frankly, it's time that we start treating criminals like criminals and police officers like heroes. And there will be a retention issue with the systems across the state are seeing it right now. We have to be able to provide those opportunities and a meaning for them to come back to the state and to be able to recruit more people because attrition will happen within those offices. And we want to be able to make sure that we have new recruits in order to be able to take their place. Well, I mean, I think it probably should be pretty simple. We have to start valuing them. We have to start talking about them as if they are a part of the solution with this a major part of the solution when it comes to the record crime in many parts of the areas and different jurisdictions in the state. They are a part of the solution. We have to start talking about them as if they are part of the solution. Nobody wants to go to work every day and have the rest of the world think that they're the problem. They are a part of the solution. We start valuing them as elected officials and communities and in our society to be able to make sure that they know what they are. They are the heroes in our community. And sure, does there need to be some type of reform? Possibly so. But what we need to do is we need to look at that in a way where it respects the occupation, where it respects those that are doing a wonderful job. And in doing so, then we have a much, much higher chance of being able to recruit those new police officers, those new heroes of the future. There's a lot there. So let me start to unpack it. One of the greatest things that I am very proud of is that when I left the Department of Commerce in January of this year, Maryland was named the most improved state in the nation for business, right? And that didn't happen accidentally. That happened because there's been a strong 7-year push in order to be able to increase our business environment, to be able to make sure that businesses knew that they were the customer, that we were there to serve them, because they are the job creators in Maryland. We have many, many jobs that are available now. We have many businesses that are looking. We have plans in order to be able to help them to recruit more people into their businesses as far as workforce development. Our EARN program at the Department of Labor is a national model. Our apprenticeship programs are stronger than they've ever been in the history of the state of Maryland. So we know that we can increase and keep Maryland on a steady trajectory for growth, especially for opportunities for people in this state. But there are a couple of burdens there, and there are a couple of barriers to that growth. And part of that growth is our transportation system. I live in Frederick County. I've been here for 20 years. There is not a place that I can go, north, south, east, or west, where we're not going to hit some sort of traffic. And many people listen to, quite frankly, Kate, WTOP, to make sure that we know what we're heading into at any given point in time in the day with your traffic reports. We need to be able to alleviate traffic in this region. And we need to do it consistent with where we have started. Governor Hogan has started some major transportation programs, especially along 270 and 495 and some other parts of the state. But if we don't do that, it will stunt our opportunity to be able to increase our economic development for the future. We have to keep things moving. We talk a lot about supply chain. And the supply chain, think about all of those trucks that are on the road. They are stuck in the same traffic that we're stuck in. The delays that we have, our economic engines have the same type of issues when it comes to getting anywhere expeditiously. We need to continue to move forward. There has been record funding putting into our transportation system over the course of the last 7 years, and I am not going to do anything to slow that down. But I will tell you, just about every single one of my opponents on the other side of the aisle have talked about stopping the progress when it comes to alleviating our traffic congestion in this state. And we cannot go backwards. We have got to continue to move forward. You know, I think that there's a lot of plans that are out there. What we have been able to see is there has been great strides in the traffic relief that has happened across the river in Virginia. We want to be able to do something similar to that, to be able to make sure that our traffic is alleviated here. And with all of those plans moving forward, as governor, I will look at the best opportunity for Marylanders moving forward. You know, there's a lot of plans for being able to decrease, and where there are opportunities in order to be able to bring in mass transit as part of the solution, and where that makes sense, we can certainly have that conversation. And in many parts of the state that works. In other parts of the state, we have to talk about traffic congestion as what it is, people that are driving cars, and those are the people that are putting money into the transportation trust fund through the gas tax, and we need to be able to manage both of those at the same time. Well, first, since we're talking about the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, let me just say that hopefully, considering the rise in gas prices right now and the Maryland gas tax, which is outrageous that this regressive tax is going to affect Marylanders as they want to go on a Maryland vacation during the summer, I'm just hoping that that does not impede the progress of what we've been able to make when it comes to bringing tourism revenues, economic dollars back to the Eastern Shore over the course of the last couple of years. So we need to be able to make sure that that's priority number one. With the amount of traffic that's going over the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, I know that there has been conversations that have happened between the adjoining local jurisdictions. I have not been involved in those conversations, but I look forward to the opportunity to talk about those best solutions for that. When I was almost 20 years old, I was 19, I was going to be the first person in my family to graduate from college. And instead of that, I got pregnant in my sophomore year of college. I dropped out of school. I got married. I had my son very shortly after I had my second son. And I spent the next 15 years of my life raising my two boys and doing everything that I could to be able to support my family. Waited a lot of tables, tended a lot of bar. I had the unique opportunity when I moved to Maryland to actually become, at the age of 36, the first person in my family to graduate from college here in Frederick at Hood College. And what that taught me at that period of time was that opportunity is everything, being able to take advantage of the opportunity. And we want to be able to make sure that every Marylander, regardless of the zip code, has the opportunity to really fulfill the things in their life and their own personal prosperity. So what I like to say is that when I was that 19-year-old girl, you know, college dropout, young mom, waiting tables, I never thought that I could be running for governor. But since that time, Kate, you know, because I was that young mom and wife and mother and a member of the House of Delegates, elected twice to represent my district in Frederick County, worked in two of the major economic development growth agencies in the state, spent 7 years in the Hogan administration, started my own business. And I would say, even because I was that waitress that worked so hard, I'm uniquely qualified to be the next governor of the state of Maryland. You know, I think as I travel across the state, there's three things that I hear most about. And a lot of it was what we had covered today. The number one thing is safety. without, keeping our neighborhoods safe, nothing else matters. We really will continue to push to make sure that we have record funding for our police officers and being able to attract new police officers and keeping repeat violent offenders off the streets, and to be able to make sure that those that are, doing crimes with illegal weapons, they are the ones that should not be out of jail with limited or no bail. Um, so I feel very strongly about that. Our educational system and our children, it's a priority to be able to make sure that every kid has an opportunity to excel, because we all believe in prosperity and everybody being able to make Maryland a better state and individuals better individuals. And that's what I'm committed to.